start to the end, where you came from, where you've been, and where you're going. And Mom and I are very proud of what you are, who you are, and your whole family.
Walt's not a car salesman. He's a businessman.
I think he has a genuine care for the individuals in the organization. I think he genuinely sees their contribution to him growing his business and it becoming our business as we continue to grow. And I really believe that he has a deep care for the people that are part of it.
His character, he's a first-class guy. I mean, no doubt about it, always has been. From the first time I met him, I mean, he treated me with 100% respect, and today I feel that same way. I feel very comfortable talking to Walt. If I had things on my mind or things I needed to talk to Walt about, I could always know that he'd be there, you know what I mean? And just a great guy.
You know, when it came to competing with other dealers, though, he's always wanted to do business the right way. Always wanted to have, you know, the rules of the game being the same for all dealers, but he's always wanted to not only outwork the competition, but also outsmart them.
My real impression with Walt came when I got in business with him. When I started to work out there on day one, and Christy, his wife, and Walt were hanging signs on the wall with the current pictures of all the automobiles and putting out literature and stuff like that. Well, generally car dealers don't do that because they got somebody working for them that does, you know, and Walt was just enthusiastic about doing all of that. We became pretty good friends, and he really impressed me because he was focused as to where he wanted to go. I said, this young man is focused with what he intends to do here. And so really, he and I started the sales force, Walt Massey and me, two of us, you know, and got some inventory, and as a result, we did pretty well.
Walt was 24 years old, I believe, around 24 when I met Walt and come to work for Walt. And but to be such a young man, he was certainly very eager to do business, get business going, and business was always first with Walt. And there was a lot of respect from the guys that was, of course, older than him. Him being such a young owner, he had the respect of all the employees that worked for him. And of course, and that's still today the same way.
My first experience with Walt was an experience of someone who's very engaged, very involved, has a belief system that is very strong, and I've seen him continue that vision as we've grown more stores.
We're talking about, you know, just a store that started out in a small store on Main Street in Loosedale, you know, and then was able to find a larger facility on the other side of town, you know, and it's just continued to grow from there. You're talking about a store that went from one store to now 7 stores. And I think this is something Walt envisioned for years before it ever came to light. You know, he was talking about selling cars on the internet, talking about technology and where this business was going. And, looking back, he was planning all of this years ago. And it's been a great story, and being part of the group and watching it grow and watching his plan unfold has been really fun to be a part of.
Walt's vision for growth has been really unbelievable, and the journey at the beginning is what really everyone should know. And we're able to be here and do what we do because Walt spent 25 years of his life building the organization to be what it was.
The culture here at Walt Massey, it's family. You know what I mean? I mean, we work so many hours together. I mean, I've seen a lot of people come and a lot of people go, but the ones that stay, I mean, you get close to. I mean, you know their kids, you know their grandkids. You laugh with, cry with. I mean, just the whole 9 yards. I mean, it's a big family is what it is. And Walt is, he's the way he's growing his business. I mean, the family's just getting bigger and bigger. And there's a lot of joy in that. One
thing that stands out with me when it comes to customers It's always been about the customer. It's always about if it's the right thing to do. You know, I've seen him stand behind vehicles that he really didn't have to. You know, taking care of customers' concerns probably when he shouldn't have. You know, he's replaced parts and offered services to customers even when, you know, probably at the end of the day he didn't have to do. So it's always been, when it came to the customer experience, he wanted to do whatever was right by the customer, and he wanted customers to come back. Walt has always been somebody that wanted to be involved in the community. You know, I don't remember a time when anyone's ever came in and asked for a donation or asked for a sponsorship or asked for a vehicle to use where he's ever said no. He's always wanted to do whatever's right by the customer, and he's always wanted to be involved in the community, no matter if that was in Lucedale or any of our other locations. He wanted to be a big part of it.
I enjoyed it, really. And I told him that. I worked, these other dealers that I worked that came and went here left and right. Never again. And it's a lot of personality thing. Walt has the personality for hard driving car dealer.
You know, I know some of us early on in this journey didn't believe we could get to where we have got. And I think there'll be some times in the future that we don't believe we can grow as big as we can. But, you know, it's not done by my vision or Walt's vision. It's done by all of our team members that have committed to being a part of it. So thank you.
So I think if I could tell Walt one thing, it would just be thank you. You know, I've spent over 25 years of my life with your organization and counting. You took a chance on a 20-year-old and believed in me, was patient with me over the years, but you always believed in me and always wanted to help me grow and be a better me, not only personally but also professionally as well. We've been through some really, really good years and some not so good years, both personally and professionally, you know, but so thank you for allowing me to be a part of this organization and carrying out your plan long term.
Well, Merry Christmas, Walt and Christy, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.